Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Andrea Pearson Show. My name is Andrea, and I am the host of this show. And if you're watching on YouTube, yes, I do have a very bright bit of sunshine that's just like glaring. I had to partially shut my window, my blinds. They don't really cover everything, though. Anyway, so this episode today, I want to talk about integrity. And this is a thing where I don't know, I kind of feel like either you have it or you don't, right? Some people are just naturally more honest than others. But I think that there are situations where even those of us who are very integriful um, can be tempted to make a wrong choice, or just it's really hard for us to make a right choice. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But first, what does integrity look like? So what basically is integrity, and why am I talking about it? Well, first off, in order for you to be a great leader or a great business owner, you have to have integrity. Your business will fail otherwise. And integrity means basically speaking the truth at all times, regardless of the outcomes, regardless of what happens because you did that. And it also means representing situations and yourself accurately in your actions and the things that you don't say. So if you're letting somebody believe something about you that is not accurate, that is evidence of a lack of integrity at that moment. And I know not everybody is who lacks integrity all across the board. Some people, it's just like a little thing that we struggle with in one little area. Um, anyway, so it's also acting the same in all situations, regardless of whether somebody is watching or not. So when you're alone, how are you running your business? Or when your business isn't viewed by hardly anybody, nobody will see what you're doing. But are you running it with integrity? That will affect your future success. Integrity also means aligning your actions with your beliefs. So if you believe a certain way, then you need to behave in that way as well. It also means basing or making your decisions based on what is right, not on what is beneficial to you and your company. So sometimes there are times where it's easier to just not say anything, or easier to allow people to believe something because it will make you look bad, and it might affect your reputation in the short term. But recognize that any action that misrepresents the truth, that makes you look bad in the moment, will make you look bad long term. I mean, the truth tends to unsurface eventually. Unsurface, is that a word? Yes, I think it's a word. Anyway, it also, let's see. Okay. It also means treating people fairly and with dignity regardless of their status or relationship with you. And I think this is the part where we can get we can get tripped up a bit, because um it's really hard not to favor people that you like. It's really hard not to favor people who mesh well with you, or who are really good in one way and really bad in another way. But having integrity means treating everybody the same, regardless of your favorites. It basically means don't pick favorites. So I remember when I was growing up, I had an orchestra teacher who absolutely loved several students in the class, and there was one of them who was very, very good at violin. I'm not arguing with that, but she got the first chair. And those of you guys who don't know, first chair means you're the best in the orchestra. She got first chair regardless of the fact that two or the other violinists were better than her. It was because the teacher liked her the best. And so I remember watching that as a youth and going, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's a good choice. But I mean, she really was a very good violinist, but she was not as good as the other two. And the teacher, one of the reasons why she did not give the other violinist a chance is because she said, well, one of them's too young. She'll have chances later on. But I'm like, but if she really is a better violinist, shouldn't she be the first chair now? And to me, as a youth, I recognize that as a lack of integrity in that moment. Um, so regardless of how much you love somebody, having integrity means treating everybody fairly and the same, regardless of your relationship or their status. Because again, I mean, I'm an admin for a local Buy Nothing group, and I don't know if you guys know what Buy Nothing is. It's a worldwide initiative where people give away things, and they ask for things rather than buying stuff. And it's against the rules to recommend people to an outside source, or recommend people to go buy something somewhere. And I've noticed, and this drives me nuts, as an admin, people almost always pick me if I comment and say, hey, I would like that thing. Because I am an admin in the group. And I think sometimes they're worried about punishment, or me, or some in some way me withholding something from them in the future, though I would never do that. And other times it's because they're basically brown nosing. And so I very rarely comment on things, because it's not fair that the admin gets picked. And it just really bothers me. Anyway, so courage, integrity is also courage. It's a willingness to make difficult choices, to stand up for your beliefs, and to speak out against wrongfulness and wrongdoing, regardless of professional risk. So even if it will destroy your business in the short term, or even destroy your business in the long term, standing up for what you believe and for what is right is more important than your business running successfully. And I'm going to say there's a caveat to this. So if you are in the entertainment business, like me with my author stuff. Like there's certain political topics that I will not delve into because A, it's nobody's business what I believe, and B, it doesn't involve my business in any way. And so standing up for something that's political is not businessly advantageous because it alienates half of your audience. And I'm not saying that, I mean, it's not a lack of ethics to stay out of politics if you're involved in business. Honestly, that is not a lack of ethics and that is not a lack of integrity. It's just staying hands off. In your personal life, you would support the things that you want to support. But in your business, standing up for things that are wrong is important. But there's when it comes to politics, what you believe is wrong, other people will believe is right. And so that's an area that I recommend everybody just stay out of if you're a business. There's so many examples of companies that go under because they took a stand that their customers did not appreciate or did not approve of. So just stay out of politics. If it's a gray area, even if it's something that you morally feel strongly about, just stay out of it. Okay, so integrity is also acknowledging mistakes and limitations. So your mistakes and your limitations, or the mistakes of your company, the limitations of your company. You need to be open to feedback and correction. Is critical. Feedback and correction are critical to maintaining ethical behavior over time. So when you are acknowledging your mistakes, you're recognizing that yes, you do mistakes, you make mistakes, you're not infallible, and then therefore people know what to expect and know what to think when it comes to you. Okay, so why do we need integrity as leaders? Okay, it first off, it builds trust, and trust builds consistency, and it builds your brand, and it builds a name for you. And if you have employees, it fosters open communication and teamwork. People next also it's you're a role model basically. If you're a leader and you are ethical, or sorry, and you have integrity, you're integrity goal. um, People will do what you do. Your staff will model your behavior. And so if you have integrity, your organization is more likely to have integrity. And also if you're an independent and you work with assistants or virtual assistants or anybody like that, your integrity will either leach over into them, or your lack of integrity will push them away. And obviously, you want to hire somebody who has integrity, of course, but the level of integrity is going to differ from people to people, from person to person. Um, okay, so long-term success over short-term games. We need integrity as leaders because it will lead to long-term success. And I did mention earlier that sometimes it can destroy your business if you have integrity, you do something that people don't like. But in the long term, it is better to have integrity because we're aiming for long-term success. And maybe you'll be able to like start a business and oh, and there's other things like it might have destroyed that business, but it will open up other avenues for you to do things in other ways that would not have happened if you hadn't had integrity. People pay attention to people who are honest. Honest people pay attention to people who are honest. And dishonest people pay attention to people who are dishonest. Okay, so it will allow you to make fair and ethical decisions, which will protect you from scandals and legal problems. So if your motto, vision, value, whatever is to always be honest in all situations, that will protect you from scandals. I mean, it doesn't mean you won't get dragged through the mud a little bit, but in the end, the truth is on your side, and it will help protect you from legal problems, etc. And then also your reputation, your integrity builds your reputation. If you act with integrity, people will respect you in the long run, and I've hinted around that a lot already. Okay, it also maintains harmony in relationship because if people know that in relationships, because if people know that you will be fair in all your dealings and that you will treat people the same regardless of your relationship with them, and if you're impartial, it will make arguments easier to resolve, and it will again build your reputation and help people respect and trust you. Okay, so areas where integrity might be at stake, where we might be tempted to set it aside, or maybe might not even recognize that we have a failure or our integrity is slightly, I was gonna say slightly unhinged. Our integrity is slightly failing or lacking in an area. So first off, financial benefits. This one is one that pretty much everybody's going to think of. So if you're manipulating statements, or if you are, or invoices, or if your taxes, with your taxes, if you're slightly in gray areas or not fully doing things honestly, if you're cutting corners, if you're half butting things, basically, that's an area where it's going to get you temporary, or sorry, short-term benefits, but the long-term benefits do not weigh out. Competition. So if your competitor is doing really well, we might be tempted to misrepresent ourselves, or our situations to keep up. So for example, exaggerated claims like, oh, so and so did this and this, and I did this and this, and just to make it look like that you're keeping up. Deceptive advertising, anything that makes you look bigger and better than you are. And there's situations like I'm gonna say, like, if you're writing a resume, you're gonna write your resume to highlight the things that you did really well, and that is not a lack of integrity. That is highlighting things that you did well. A resume or the storefront for your business is supposed to make you look good. This is not a place where you're gonna be like, oh, but I made mistakes here. That's more like in an interview situation, or once you start working with somebody, you make sure you're on the same page with them. But, being honest upfront and highlighting what you do well and what you do right is not a lack of integrity. That's just smart marketing. But exaggerating or being deceptive, now that is a lack of integrity. Okay, so reducing costs in ways that compromise ethical standards. This is similar to the financial benefits, but it's like when you're bypassing regulations or bypassing requirements, or just kind of trying to sneak by on some of the things that your industry requires or needs you to do, because it would be too expensive to do something else. That is a lack of integrity. Same with reducing pay for people who work for you or with you without reducing your own pay. Like, the economy is doing really well right now. We're kind of we're kind of dealing with inflation a lot. I've got to reduce your pay. And then you don't do anything with your own pay. That is a lack of integrity. If you are reducing people's pay, you have to have a reason to do it. And you can't do it in such a way where you still benefit maximum. You just got to take care of your people. Okay. Meeting deadlines, the temptation to cut corners or try to hide issues just to go live on time, or just to meet your deadline, or just to make, make a goal. That's a lack of integrity. So don't, I mean, even if it means pushing a deadline back, or even if it means releasing something that's not quite where you want it to be, don't hide issues just to go live on time or just to meet a deadline. Choosing between a favorite person or an ethical situation. So again, I've talked about this earlier, favoring someone who isn't pulling their weight just because you like them, that is a lack of integrity. Anyway, that's lots of exciting stuff, right? So just a quick update. Rather than doing an official campaign to earn money to fund our IVF goals, we've decided to do a big push on exclusive box sets. I've done this in the past, and it's really helped us a lot, helped us out a lot financially. And I'm going to be doing that again. So I'm going to put a link in the show notes for anybody who wants to look into that. I know I have authors that follow. If you want to see how I'm handling it and what I'm doing, I'm putting a link in the show notes for you to go check that out. So, anyway, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching and for listening. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast, to my YouTube channel. Comment below if you're on YouTube. And go ahead and fill out the form that I've got in the show notes. And if you have any questions, or if you want to be part of a future business breakdown, which won't be happening for a couple months, not until we've got a handle on our financial situation for in vitro fertilization. Anyway, that's it so much. Thank you guys. That's it so much, guys. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. I love and appreciate you all, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.